up in first position. Mitch Rees lining up beside him in P2. Tony Rees, P3. Oh, and we've had a stall for Alistair Hugenbosen. He's rolled his bike off the grid. He will now not be able to start this race. So that's the end of that. Sorry, Phil, but the dream is gone. And we're away. And it's another great start from Tony Rees. The man is a master of starts. He's just blasted them for the whole shot into turn one, with Mitch Rees providing cover into second position. And that looks like Aaron Scott, local Christchurch rider, on an Aprilia in third position, with Heath Boddicker maybe in fourth or fifth. So good start for Tony Rees. Unfortunate for Al Hugenbosen, who's still struggling with his bike there on the grid, and he's decided to push it to the side and not take any further part in this event today, because this is the last race for the Superbikes. So there we go, Tony Rees out in front of Mitch Rees. Struggling to make out whether that's the Aprilia or the Ducati in third place. Great run by Tony Rees though to lead Mitch Rees through the right-hander and into the double left complex, which feeds into the dipper. The dipper being the most change of elevation. The exit to the dipper is quite difficult on a superbike. They are prone to spinning up as they crest the rise. And there's and here we go. Tony Rees leading Mitch Rees. Oh, it's one of the iTools. It's Glenn Scatchell on the BMW S1000RR. That's a good ride from Glenn, leading ahead of Heath Boddicker and Dan McKenzie. That's a fantastic ride from Dan McKenzie as well. Now, Dan didn't get the opportunity for practice here on Friday.
And he was working all day yesterday, so he wasn't here yesterday. So he had to line up on the back of the grid for the first race this morning, and they re-gridded him according to his, I think, fifth position in the first race. But yeah, Dan McKenzie, you can never afford to write him off. Actually, I've seen him on old, knackered machinery make people on very new, expensive machinery look very daft, especially around the street circuits. Yes. At one point, Dan McKenzie actually held the King of Nelson, King of Greymouth, and King of Burt Munro all in 1 year.
That's right, he did do the three.
Doing that on a 15-year-old Fireblade. Yeah,
that's right.
And yeah, there's no way that that bike should have gone that fast. But Dan McKenzie is something special. For anyone that knows him, you'll know what I'm talking about.
He's a great guy, stalwart of racing here in Christchurch, to be fair, and a top mechanic as well. So that looks like Ali's got the bike going.
I've known, I don't know if I should say this or not, but Dan McKenzie couldn't get transport to Nelson one Christmas. He rode his race bike to Nelson, put some tyres on it, raced it all around Nelson, won all the races, and then rode it home.
Yeah, that's 100% a true story.
Yeah,
100% a true story. Yeah. That one. So back to the racing. We've still got Tony Rees. He's holding a good couple of bike lengths, 0.2 maybe of a second over his son, Mitch Rees. An amazing effort from Tony, carrying quite a few years on the rest of the field, but still riding like the true champion that he's always been. And Mitch Rees, champion as well, he's certainly not going to take it lying down from his father today. So in third place, still Glenn Scatchell on the iTools BMW.
I think that was the BMW that was actually the wrecked bike, that one that Glenn's riding. I was talking to him earlier.
Well, that would be the scariest thing on the paddock today then. That's a phenomenal ride from Glenn Scatchell, because to be honest, the man he's dicing with, Heath Boddicker in fourth place, a well-renowned racer, Bears racer, multiple class winner in the Bears, fantastic rider, multiple winner in street races, Nelson street races and Greymouth street races. So to be coming down here on a bike that had never been ridden as a race bike, never seen a track before, and had been brought as a smashed up piece of road kit, and be out here leading Heath Boddicker is a fantastic effort. So congratulations to Glenn Scatchell in 3rd place. And here we go again. Is that a change for first off the end of the straight? Off the end of the sweeper? No, it's still Tony, but only by a bike length, and Mitch is having a look. Now both those bikes will be very evenly matched in terms of performance, being that it's a father and son team sponsored by Tony Rees Motorcycles up in the North Island. So it'll be just about who wants it the most between Tony and Mitch at this stage. Oh, and they're right on it in the hairpin, right on it, ladies and gentlemen. There is no quarter being given them.
This race sponsored by Timaru Metal Recyclers. Maybe not a name that you're familiar with, but if I said the name Johnny Hepburn, a lot of people will go, oh, I know Johnny Hepburn. He was another outstanding racer back in the day. Almost unbeatable on almost anything he chose to ride. Multiple New Zealand champion. Holds the outright New Zealand land speed record, which is what I'm out to break in 11 weeks from now. And he went on to race cars, classics, and now trucks. And he's also a championship winner in all those categories too. So Johnny Hepburn's support for racing still goes on. He's sponsoring this race, so thanks, Johnny.
And we're having a real close tussle now between Mitch and Tony. They're right on each other. There's nothing in it between these two guys. What's the gap going to be as we come across the line, Phil? Nothing.
7 thousandths of a second.
Oh, and there's Mitch. He's just made the dive underneath Tony into turn 1. Can Tony fight back round through pothole? It looks like Mitch has got consolidated that first place. Now he's just got to be able to hold Tony off into the hairpin. Tony's a very, very late breaker. Breaks with the Andrew Stroud style of braking, which is just hang it all out. I think Mitch will try and put in a couple of fast laps and see if he can give himself a wee bit of comfort, a wee bit of breathing space from Dad behind.
Poor old Alistair Hugenbosom stalled his bike on the line, couldn't actually start the race. He managed to get it going, and he's been circulating at the back of the field. He's just turned in a 1 minute 34 lap, which is about 1 and a bit seconds off the leader's pace. So, you know, he didn't get a chance to compete at the front of the grid this time round, but he's still setting a fierce pace. He's using the opportunity to practice and, you know, hone his skills. But it must be heartbreaking for Alistair Hugenbosom, having worked so hard all weekend.
Well, at this pace, there's every chance that Tony and Mitch will catch Alistair. What have we got? We've got
that would be humiliating, wouldn't it?
Coming up to 3 laps to go when Tony and Mitch cross the line, and if they're carrying a couple of seconds a lap faster speed, it's going to be close, I tell you. So there's Mitch Rees leading through.
0.3 of a second between them this time round.
So Mitch has pulled himself a wee bit of a buffer. Now he can just concentrate on whether he's going to catch Alistair. And
new fastest lap from Mitch Rees. He's now lapping 3 and a bit seconds quicker than Alistair Hugenbosom.
So what have we got?
We've got 3 laps to go. There is a chance that they could catch him because
there's only a 5-second gap.
Yeah.
So that would be very demoralising for Alistair. Even though he missed the start through stalling his bike, he would not like to finish behind a lap down behind Mitch and Tony Rees. And
that's
I think
a smack around the face, isn't it?
he will do everything he can to try and pick up his pace for the last few corners, I'm sure. Because they are catching him at quite a rate, and at this rate they should catch him into the sweeper.
No, they won't get him this time round, but next time they will.
They're closing down fast.
They are.
They are really closing down.
Come on, Alistair, pick it up, boy.
So, what have we got? 3 laps to go. It'll be 2 laps to go when they cross the line. Of course, Alistair Hugenbosom almost a full lap down. So Alistair crosses the line. But the leaders come through Mitch Rees and Tony Rees first and second, and they are making a point of hunting down Alistair Hugenbosen.
Well, it's great. They've got someone to chase.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mitch will be using Alistair as braking guidance. He'll be using him as gap guidance. It's quite good for Mitch. He will be able to really push on now. And Tony's struggling to keep the gap with him, although trying valiantly into the hairpin. Oh, and Alistair's moved across. Alistair's moved out of the way. Very gentlemanly thing to do. Congratulations to Alistair for actually not getting involved in that.
Good sportsmanship that he knew they were coming. He knew that he could keep them behind him for a little bit, but by the time they get through the infield complex, the gap would be nothing. So, no, good sportsmanship from Alistair there.
Absolutely.
As humbling as that is, that was the right thing to do. So, you know, the guy's not only an outstanding rider, but he's a gentleman with it, and that's equally as important in these fields.
Absolutely.
You can't afford to get in somebody's way, not when they're that much quicker than you. So.
No, it shows the professionalism that's instilled in some of these young riders, and that comes from growing up in the paddock and being part of it. You know, and the Motorcycling Canterbury philosophy of training races to be quality races, where
gentlemen or ladies.
Yeah, where it's, you know, not just about your behaviour on the track; it's also your behaviour off the track. It's how you carry yourself and how you present your teams.
White flag's out.
White flag's out, so looks like Mitch has got a pretty commanding lead now. A couple of seconds up his sleeve there. And not surprising that Tony's starting to feel the pressure of the pace. It's been a very big weekend for all of these guys. Lots and lots of hard work goes on behind the scenes.
Just in contrast, if you look at that iTools BMW that they're coming up to lap, he's not moving out of the way.
True, but he does still have a significant gap.
He does. Look, they're right up his tail. He should be moving out of the way now to let them past. They're coming up to lap him, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, but the lapped rider, his job is to maintain his pace and hold his line unless he can pull over.
Oh, he's dropped it in the hairpin.
Oh, someone's down in the hairpin. Who is that?
That's a yellow flag.
See, I think that iTools BMW might just make it far enough out of the way.
There's no sense of urgency, anything like having dropped your bike on the track.
And here we go.
And knowing that they're coming thundering down to...
Congratulations, Mitch Rees.
Yeah.
Massive wheel stand down the main straight. Absolutely massive. Good ride from Tony Rees as well. Fantastic to finish in second place. Al Hugenbosen finishing a lap down, but unfortunate that he stalled his bike and couldn't get it re-going on the grid. He made the right move. As soon as he'd stalled it, he pushed off to the side rather than sitting stalled on the grid and holding the race. So that was a great race. Mitch Rees winning, Tony Rees in second, Glenn Scatchell on the iTools BMW. Just Reward third place. That team's been first out on the grid all weekend in the Superbike class, so good to see them picking up a podium as well. Heath Boddicker, local man from Nelson, riding the V4 Ducati Panigale, and Aaron Scott, local from Christchurch, on the RSV4 in 5th place. Dan McKenzie on the Ducati in 6th, and James Hugenbosen on another Yamaha R1 7th. Kevin Beaumont on a V4 Ducati in 8th. Richard Markham Barnett on another one of the iTools S1000RRs in 9th. And who have we got to cross the line next? That would be Ryan Carton on an Aprilia RSV4 hybrid. I wonder what the hybrid bit's all about. I might have to walk down into the pits and have a look at that later.